You might be an investor or an entrepreneur running a business in a high-tax country like Canada, Australia, Germany, France, or UK, and you're looking to move your business and your personal taxation to a low or probably zero tax country. If that's what you're looking for, then I would suggest you stay tuned for the video, because in this video I'm going to tell you how you can move your business and your personal finances to Dubai and take advantage of its zero personal taxation. So in this video, I want to talk about Dubai, its 0% personal and corporate taxation system, how it works, how you can take advantage of it. So let's get right to it. Let's start with the taxation system of Dubai. So until 2018, there was actually no tax in Dubai. It was a 100% zero tax country, but Dubai and United Arab Emirates decided to integrate more into the global economy, and they started introducing some taxes to corporates. It started in 2018 with the VAT, that's 5% VAT that you buy. If you're doing any sales or purchases, you pay 5% VAT on that. However, apart from the VAT, there was no corporate taxation in Dubai, either in the free zone entities or the mainland entities. Well, this is about to change in 2022. UAE has announced a new taxation law that discusses corporate taxation for entities that are dealing in mainland UAE and then entities that are large-scale corporations. It is expected that the free zone entities will still be taxed at 0% corporate tax, but yeah, they would have to comply with the taxation requirements. They will have to do their filings. But the government has announced that the tax incentives that were provided to the free zones will continue to be honored, and that includes 0% corporate taxation. So you, as a foreign investor or a foreign entrepreneur, how can you take advantage of the 0% personal income taxation and then 0% corporate tax that is for the free zones at the moment? The most common way that the investors are doing is by setting up a company in UAE. It costs around $8,000 to $10,000 to start off with. That includes your residency visa, and then once you have your company set up, once you have residency visa set up, you have your Emirates ID with you. That makes you an official resident of Dubai. Once you have that official residency of Dubai, it does not automatically makes you a tax resident of Dubai. You can have multiple residencies, but you might still be a tax resident in your original country that you're from, or in the country that you are currently a tax resident. You might be a tax resident in UK, or you might be a tax resident in Germany. So what the next step is, once you have acquired a UAE residency, you need to cut ties as a tax resident in your current country. So you need to move yourself to Dubai. You need to get a house. You need to get an apartment. Either you can buy or you can rent. You need to set up you already have a company, but you need to show flow of capital. You need to invest capital. You need to start. Probably you can have employees, you can have a manager, you can have some clients here, you can start doing some business from here. So you can show to your previous tax resident country that you have established actual ties within UAE, actual business ties in UAE. And then also you have to cut down all the economic substance ties in your current residency of tax. How you can do that is by removing all the commercial ties with the current country, so that you don't have a resident, you don't have a permanent or a rented residence there, you don't have cars, you don't have bank accounts there. Nothing that can connect you to going back to the country, and the tax authorities there can say, oh, but you are technically still connected to this country, and then you are still a tax resident of this country and you have to pay those taxes. So you need to carefully plan this to exit from your current tax resident country, and then you need to carefully install becoming an actual tax resident in Dubai. And once you have done this transition, it might take you 6 months to 8 months or 12 months, but once you've done this transition, you are only tax resident in United Arab Emirates, and that gives you the opportunity of paying 0% personal taxation. Let's say you are a crypto investor or a crypto entrepreneur. UAE has been very open to the crypto regulations, the crypto industry and the blockchain industry. We have blockchain and cryptocurrency as a trading activity, so it's totally legal to do cryptocurrency businesses, cryptocurrency startups and trading. You just have to register with the government. You have to tell them that this is what you're doing, this is your business plan, this is how you're going to do it. UAE's government is very forward-looking and open-minded in terms of new technologies, so that's a very good place to be. You can see that Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange, has also moved their headquarters to Dubai, showing its interest and showing its confidence into the UAE regulators about cryptocurrency and blockchain industry. Once you have done that, you are free to cash out your cryptocurrency and use it as and when required, how you require, and there is no taxation on withdrawal of cryptocurrency or trading or profits on cryptocurrency. Unlike other high-tax countries where even if you withdraw the cryptocurrency, there's a 20 to 30% tax. Even if you use it to buy a car, you use it to buy some tickets, you use it to buy even food, it considers as a tax event, and the government tries to tax you on those withdrawals of cryptocurrency. That's not the case if you move your entire setup to Dubai. Now, moving forward to some additional resources required. So if you are a US citizen, this whole setup will not apply to you because United States taxes citizens based on the citizenships, no matter where they are on a global scale. So most of the US citizens who are looking to become tax-free resident, they go for a second citizenship, let's say in St. Kitts or Antigua, and once they have that citizenship by investment, they go to renounce their US citizenship, they become a tax resident of another country such as Monaco or Dubai, and they pay 0% taxation wherever they are. So for US citizens, it's still possible to become a 0% tax resident, but you have to acquire a second citizenship, you have to acquire a second resident at a zero tax country, and then you need to renounce your US citizenship. The whole process can take you more than a year, but eventually you will come to a point where you can move all your assets to your new country and you can become a 0% tax resident. In addition to that, if you are someone who is moving to Dubai, not just because of the wealth or personal taxation reasons, but you are actually moving your business, you are moving due to the business reasons, you want to start a company, you want to start a startup, or you're an investor, you want to start a bigger company. For sure, UAE is a very connected place in terms of its infrastructure, in terms of its banking, in terms of the technology, the 4G and the 5G that's being introduced soon. So for sure, UAE is a very well-connected place. It has resources, it has a very well-nurtured entrepreneurial ecosystem, and the investments, the venture capital ecosystem is increasing in Dubai. So for sure, there is business to be done here. So if doing business is your main goal or objective in Dubai, in addition to your second residency, then you need to consider also the banking regulations in Dubai, because Dubai is not unlike other offshore jurisdictions such as Belize or Cayman Island. Dubai is very well connected. Dubai's banking system is very connected to the global economies. So Dubai has to comply with the OECD laws. Dubai has to comply with anti-money laundering laws. And based on that, the banking system in Dubai, or the banking sector in Dubai, do rigorous KYC, know your customer, for giving you a corporate or a personal bank account. So you need to make sure that you have a good banking advisor, your application are proper, you are going through the proper channels, and you're applying it in a way that you get successful in getting your corporate bank account. It does take a little bit of time. It can take you up to from 45 days up to 3 or 4 months, but it's worth it. You have to go through. Once you have that bank account, it's a very globally respected banking system. You can use the bank statements, you can move your money around quite easily. It really gives you an advantage, and it opens up your options in terms of how you manage your wealth from a banking perspective. So in case if you are doing an online business and you're an online entrepreneur, so one additional step you would have to take, in my suggestion, if you are not a US citizen, is that you get your US residency, you get your UAE residency, and you get your UAE company established, but you also incorporate a zero tax company in USA. What happens is that UAE is a bit slow in giving you online checkouts. So if you have a zero tax company in USA, you get Stripe payment portals very easily, and you get digital banks such as TransferWise and Mercury. What you can do is, as a start, you can use those tools to operate your business, operate your online business. You can start collecting money very fast from your clients. You don't have to wait longer period of time going through UAE banking channels in order to start your business. And of course, if you're a foreign resident who has a US company, there is no taxation on that. And what you can do is you can move the sales that you have made in the US entity, you can move all the sales to your bank account, your corporate bank account in Dubai. And that would be also 0% taxation if you are in free zone. And your revenues are coming in from an outside country, you can charge them as marketing expenses to your US entity. And that will enable you to be more flexible in terms of the payment processing options that you have. So you can use all the payment processing options that a US entity can have, and then you can use or utilize the 0% taxation that the UAE entities have. And this is all legally structured. So that's the benefit to you. These are both strong economies. These are both globally connected economies. You are not doing anything shady. You are just utilizing the tax structures that you have to your advantage. Now let us discuss the process of how you can get a UAE residency and what would be the cost of it, what would be the timeline of it. So the process starts with setting up a company for you in Dubai. You don't have to be present physically in Dubai to get that process started. You can send over the documents to the consultant. The consultants can process the documents, set up an entity for you. It takes around 3 to 5 days or roughly 1 week to set up a company in Dubai. It's fairly a straightforward process. You only need to send your bank statement, passport copy, and the photographs and stuff. So once you have that entity ready, the next steps would be to register your entity with the Ministry of Human Resource and Ministry of Immigration, so that can enable your company to issue residence visas, because that is how the process is. The companies can employ residence visas to employees and investor. You as an investor will get a 3 years of investor residence visa, and you are also capable of sponsoring more employees, more family members through your company. If it's your siblings, or if it's your wife or children or your spouses, you can also sponsor them in a personal capacity as a family visa. But apart from that, if you have any other family members, if you have any employees, they can come on as a UAE resident through an employment visa in your company, and they all also enjoy the benefits of 0% corporate taxation, 0% personal taxation. It is not just the investor, but even the employees or anyone who lives in Dubai has 0% personal taxation, so they can take advantage of that. Once you have that registered with the Ministry of Human Resources and Ministry of Immigration, what will happen is we will issue you an e-visa. Based on the e-visa, you would be able to travel to Dubai, and once you are traveling to Dubai on the e-visa, the ministry here will take your biometrics and will take your medical examinations. Once those processes are done, the ministry will issue you an Emirates ID. That would be your official residence ID. Residence visa will be stamped on your passport. This will conclude the subject of you becoming a UAE resident. This whole process takes around 20 to 30 days, and in 30 days you have an operating company and you have a complete UAE residency. You can now, after that, you can start with the process of getting a UAE bank account. That would take you another 45 days to 2 months or 3 months even. You can set up your house here, you can rent a flat, you can buy a property if you're looking for a long-term investment here. And based on that, once you have those residencies established, once you have the place to live, once you have your office space, it can be a shared workspace or a dedicated office based on how you're planning to do your business. But when you have these things established, you have your bank accounts, you can go back to your country of residence where you are currently a tax resident, and you can show all these proofs, and you can say to them, now I have moved my place to Dubai, I've become a tax resident in Dubai. UAE actually issues you a tax residency certificate that you can also use as a proof of tax residency. So you can show all these things to your current residents, current tax resident country, and then you can request them to remove you from being a tax resident of that high tax country, and then eventually you won't be paying 20 or 30%, 40% income tax on your personal taxation. You will be paying 0% tax on your personal taxation, and depending on how you structure your company's operations, you would also be paying 0% tax on your corporate tax liabilities as well. In terms of the costing, it's not one of the most cheapest options, like it's not a $500 or $300 company, but of course in a long run it seems overall it's one of the most cheapest ways to get a second residency in a country with a very advanced infrastructure. So keeping that in mind, if you are just a single investor, the company will, or the whole process will cost you between $8,000 to $10,000. There would be an annual renewal fee, but that's the renewal fee only for the company and not for your visa. Your visa will actually be valid for 3 years as an investor, or even if you're an employee, your visa is valid for 3 years, and then there is a renewal of the visa every 3 years, but the company is renewed every 1 year. So that's your cost. If you're just one investor, then $8,000 to $10,000 is all you have to invest. If you have more employees, then you can budget around $1,500 for each additional employee. If you have family members, if you have your spouse or your children's, then you have to budget an additional $500 for each of the family members. So that's the rough cost estimate, and it's not very expensive project, or in terms of budgeting, it's not very expensive. Of course, this is a basic package where if you are more more oriented towards moving yourself personally, you will start a marketing company or start a consulting company that will allow you to set up their visas, the residencies and stuff. But if you want to go for a more sophisticated solutions in terms of your corporation as well, like you want to go to a more prestigious free zone, let's say the Dubai International Financial Center, DMCC, that are more oriented towards financial services sector, the more startups that are raising venture capital and fund, is kind of a Silicon Valley in Dubai, DMCC that is called. So where all the investors are there, all the startups are there, and those kinds of things. So if you want to take advantage of those kinds of things as well, so that your package will be a slightly higher, it would be double than the basic one, that's $20,000. So if you want to, starting from $20,000. So if you also want to take advantage of the corporate taxation, you want to start a startup, you want to start a high-tech company here, then that's your budget. But if you're not looking into that, you just want to move personally, you want to move your family here, you want to move your finances, you want to enjoy a 0% personal income taxation, then $10,000 is all you need. If you want us to help you with your personal taxation, and if you want us to help you with your UAE residency and helping you in moving to UAE, what you can do is book a call with me or my team with the calendar link that is in the description down below. We will be happy to have a chat with you, and we will discuss your options, and we can give you the best possible strategies on how you can move yourself to Dubai and what are the options that you can utilize in order for you to become a UAE resident who is paying 0% personal taxation. Please also subscribe to the channel, and if you have any questions, you can drop down into the comment below, and me and my team will be happy to answer. See you in the next video.